Hey everyone, it's Maura Allard, and I wanted to just pop on as we get near the holidays and talk about family and the interactions we have with them. I just went back to visit family last weekend, and I had one of the best visits I've had in a long time. And I think a lot of that had to do with how I showed up and releasing the expectations and releasing the need to have my input. I had to remove my mom hat because you know what? They're grown men. They are no longer needing my guidance. And if they do, they can ask. But most of the time, they're not asking. And so when I stopped needing to talk about what job decisions you're making, or, are you still trying to have a baby, or are you going to get engaged in the near future, things go far more smoothly. You know why? They actually will share that information much more easily when you're not pressing for it, or they're worried that you're going to try to change their mind, or you're going to have something negative to say about it. And instead, I just let it be. I don't need to know the answers. I really don't. Do I need to know if you're getting engaged? I'll be surprised if you do. If your wife gets pregnant sometime in the future, that'll be wonderful. I know you're trying, you told me. You know, I don't have to ask those questions. I don't have to tell you which job to take. I can listen, and if you're asking my advice, I will give you my thoughts, but I don't need to direct you anymore. My job ended when you graduated college and moved out of the house and you went on your own. And yet so many times we still want to direct people's lives. We think we know best. But do we? We only really know what's best for us. We think we know what's best for others. Only know what's best for us. And then I went to visit other family members, and one of the people there chose to not really participate in the gathering. And in the past, that would have annoyed me. Like, I'm here. I'm visiting. You should be paying attention to me. I'm not that important again. For whatever reason, they had to go do something else that was important to them. And I need to just let that be and be okay with that. Let them live their lives. And when we do that, we actually enjoy ourselves more. We have more space. We're not as contracted energetically. We're not contracting, trying to micromanage everything. Yes, some things need parameters. We do have to know what day to show up, what time events are, and because we live in the world of, yes, we operate on time. But how the event unfolds, we don't really need to control. We can just let it be naturally occurring how it's supposed to be. It's like when we can practice these three words, I see you, I hear you, I accept you, then things go a lot smoother. I see you, how you're showing up, I hear what you're saying, and I accept you for who you are right now, as you are, perfectly imperfect. That does not mean that people will not annoy you. Annoying is different than acceptance. The behavior can annoy you, but can you accept it and move on? Again, we're usually only spending a few hours with these people during our holiday season. So when you go to the holidays this year, can you see the people who show up, hear the people, and accept them? Family can push your buttons like no other people. They know you inside and out. They know the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. And you know that about them as well. But when we can just show up and honor how we're showing up that day, so much goes so much more smoothly. I came away from that trip just feeling lighter and really happy. Happy I saw everybody. Happy that there was no tension. There was no push and pull. There was just fun. We enjoyed food. We enjoyed laughter. I feel blessed. Now, this isn't to say if you have a child that is depressed or has addiction issues or whatever. There are certain instances where your adult children may need you to interject. But this isn't the case in my scenario. This is a case of two men living their lives who no longer need me to oversee them and tell them my thought process. They don't ask mine most of the time. They just, flip it around. They ask, how are you, Mom? What's new? They don't start telling me what to do. And if they do, I would probably be the same way as them and say, back off, it's my life. Don't tell Mom what to do. Why am I telling them what to do? They're adults. So, how do you handle the holidays? How do you handle family? And that's not to say also that in some instances you need boundaries. Boundaries are a good thing. What you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate. You know, have an exit plan. I had paid a therapist a lot of money once for her to tell me there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. You can be like, I'm going to get there at 4, we're going to eat at 5, and I'm out by 6. And you can stay true to that. You don't have to pick up when the phone rings, there's a decline button. Another great therapist tip I got. You don't have to answer every call if you're not in good space. You don't have to go to everything if you're not in good space. Protect yourself. We don't have to be overgivers. We don't have to be overdoers. And we don't have to be over controllers. We can just show up where we are. This year, we're not having a Christmas tree. I'm moving. There are no cards. There are less gifts. You know what I'm doing instead? I am telling friends how I feel about them. When I see them, as I go through this moving process, thank you. Thank you for being a great friend. Thank you for being in my life. That's my gift to a lot of people. And that's enough. Because you know what? How often do people hear that? Not often enough. We don't get told we were good enough friends. And think of ways that just show up that resonate with you this year. Every year can be different. We do not have to do the same holiday the same way every year. It's taken me a long time to know that. My mom, she didn't practice the holidays same every year. And when I was young, I was sometimes aggravated with that. But now I can look back and say she couldn't do it. That year just couldn't be the whole hurrah. And I can look back and be like, thank you for showing me that. Thank you. As a child, I didn't understand it. We still had a holiday, it just was different because she couldn't do it. And that's okay. I can now honor that she was showing me as a child that not every year is perfect. Not every year we get a huge tree or have this many gifts or go to this many parties. This year can be different and still beautiful and still honored. Have a great day.